Well, I have the great pleasure and honor to introduce one of our great leaders in the country, a very distinguished chairman and chief executive officer, Chad Holliday. Many of you know that Chad Holliday was the chairman and CEO of DuPont for over 11 years, and not only did he lead DuPont into many new directions of innovation and markets, but he was really the first CEO in America to make the business case for safety and resiliency and sustainability that became the industry leader around the world. And we were so honored and thrilled that Chad Holliday led the Council on Competitiveness for many years and is our chairman emeritus. Chad, as you know, is now the chairman of the Bank of America. Among many other responsibilities he has, he's the lead director for Deere & Company and on the boards of Royal Dutch Shell and CH2M Hill. But really what I want to say about Chad, and you'll hear this, is he serves America. He is committed to this country. He is, of all the CEOs, the one that the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, chose to lead the private sector engagement for energy access for all. He is a very valued member of the National Academy of Engineering, chairing many studies. He's the chairman of the Global Federation of Competitiveness Councils. I could go on, as well as the Science Technology Society Forum. But he believes at the end of the day that it's coming together, the private sector with industry, academia, and government, that will make our world a better place. And we're very honored to have Chad Holliday with us as our keynote speaker from industry.
Thank you very much, Deborah, and it's a real pleasure to be here. What I'd like to do today is just share one report that I've had the honor to work on. I'll describe what it is, and I hope as I describe it to you, I will entice you enough that you might at least glance at it, and then I will have accomplished my objective today. So the report is a commission that was put together by 7 countries. We just released the results yesterday. They asked us to answer one simple question. Is there a way to advance jobs in the economy while we're also cleaning up the environment at the same time? Because the conventional wisdom is you can't do both. I'm going to have jobs, I'm going to have a clean environment, and take your pick. And the question was, is it possible? Is there a route to do that? And if the answer is yes, kind of tell us how you do it. So I want to give you the answer that we came out with yesterday. By the way, the answer is yes, in case you wondered. So what's the cost going to be? We've modeled out 15 years, 2015 to 2030, in all this work. That's the time period we have. And if we go the current way we're going, with the current technologies, without taking a step forward, it's going to cost $89 trillion over the next 15 years to put the infrastructure in the world needs. If we go the clean technology route, which is what this conference is all about, we're here today, it's $93 trillion. Yes, it's more, but it's 5% more. It's very reasonable, and we think that that can be done. And that's the conclusion. And this is the report. It's called the New Climate Energy Economy Report. Better growth, better climate, and it's all online. I really do not think you'll regret taking time to look at it, and I want to give you just 3 highlights from this report today, which again might entice you to actually look it up. As you think about this subject and how you're able to get the growth at the same time that you're creating the job, get the growth and the clean energy, you've got to look at the risks that are involved, and you've got to look at the opportunities involved. So as I think about this report and working on it for a year, it's just a whole series of opportunities to maximize and a series of risks that you want to minimize. The first one is coal. Coal is a risk you want to minimize, probably not eliminate, but think about how to minimize. And natural gas, particularly in this country, is opportunity you want to maximize. If you want to accelerate the clean part, take carbon capture and storage and somehow use that as a way to minimize the risk of natural gas or coal, either one. There are now 21 carbon capture and storage plants either under construction or in operation today. This technology is moving from an experiment to a commercial reality very soon. It's still expensive. We're still not where we need to be. But think about that combination, and our report describes how you should think about that and the logic and the reasoning for it. The second area is, how do you finance this? Now, I serve as chair of a bank, and since 2008, when the financial crisis started, there are not many people in the world that have criticized banks for not being creative enough or being too slow to come out with new financial instruments. I generally think we were a bit aggressive there, and I won't comment on that, but they're probably right. What we found in this report, though, is that when it comes to financing clean energy, we were slow and reserved and not stepping up to the plate. We did not have the instruments in place that looked at the longer time frames and the size of the investments, so it made the investments too expensive, and people weren't stepping up to them. That changed about 3 years ago, and the growth in the new instruments that allow people to invest in clean energy that want to have really been exponential. Let me point out one in particular. It's called green bonds. We at Bank of America have issued green bonds. A number of really big name companies have issued them in the last 2 years. And it's simply a bond based on the financial structure of the company, but it's pledged to work to sustainable type projects and activities. And what we're finding is a unique growth and demand for those. These green bonds won't stay in their current form. They will progress, so they'll be much more specific, and what we believe is be much more tailored to the investors that we have. There's a second technique that's called yieldcos, but think of it very simply as bundling a lot of projects together so you share the risk, but you're very clear on what the risk is. Is it nature? Is it geographic risk? Is it technology risk? And so you can get the blend you want, and it's like an equity offering, so you can trade it over time, so your money isn't tied up for the long duration, which is, we found, one of the biggest problems in this process. So the bottom line is why we can get this done and can answer that question, yes, about the economy and the environment together, is we need different kinds of financial instruments. I'm convinced they are going to come about, and they're coming about today, and will be very successful. The last one I'd like to share with you is, I'll tee it up by talking about shale gas. Now, how many in this room 10 years ago thought shale gas or tight gas was going to have the impact on our economy that we're seeing today? Just let me see a raise of hands. 10 years ago could see this coming. It's dark in the back. I'm sure there's a lot of hands in the back, but there are no hands here in the front, okay? And so as we were releasing this report yesterday, we had some of the CNBC people there, and I said, you guys are constantly asking the question, why did we miss the shale gas? And I haven't heard a good answer yet, because it was probably there to be seen, and it was a great example of the Department of Energy doing the funding, and a lot of really good entrepreneurs making it work here in the United States, and a regulatory system that could allow it to happen, the strength of the states and the strength of the national government working together. But I don't think that's the most important question for those in this room to focus on today. The question is, what's the next shale gas? What's the one we're missing today? And if I could be so bold, and it's not directly in our report, but I think it's clearly between the lines, it's energy efficiency. As you look at the technology available today that has not been connected yet, the opportunity in energy efficiency is tremendous. We see in this report an $8.8 trillion investment capability on good return projects over the next 15 years in energy efficiency. And if you see how it's going to take a little social engineering, we've got to educate people, we've got to understand, we've got to take that part. It's not just technology, but this is the opportunity. And so as you think about manufacturing and energy tying together, energy efficiency is one of the key things. When I was working at DuPont, we took the goal of we will keep our energy use flat while we grow the company very significantly. Just setting that goal the creativity started coming out, and good projects started to happen that got good returns, and we were able to do it, and every project at least earned the cost of capital. So I think that's what we'll find, and that was with technology that was 10 years ago. So with the technology we have today, I think energy efficiency really can be the next shale gas, and there might be more next shale gases than just energy efficiency. There might be only one. So if I could summarize for you, the answer to the question was yes. We can do a clean climate and grow the economy. The reason we found it's not working today is what I like to say is our economy is kind of stuck in neutral. So many investment decisions, and particularly by the manufacturing companies represented in this room, you're saying, do I really double down on the current technology that might be dirtier, might be on the surface look lower cost, or do I bet on renewables and a cleaner energy economy when I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen? What we think is we need just a nudge toward the clean energy economy, a little step in that direction, and we believe we'll unleash things that can really make this happen and deal with the issues of the world. Thank you very much. Great to be with you today.